Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Famous Dave.
And this is Double Agents, episode 13, The Spy Who Loved Fessy, baby, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I wish. The whole thing should have been that, yeah. But it is called The Spy Who Loved Fessy.
Wow.
Which right away, you're being cute with putting characters' names and stuff, but you know that anything that's going to happen is going to involve those characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I always avoid looking. If you can go on like the guide on DirecTV and you can look at the episode, you can see the name of it like a week beforehand. I don't ever do that because they did one a couple years ago where it was like Corey was in the title, and then it was a bummer, and you knew the whole entire episode revolved around Corey. It was going to elimination, and it was just like, why do I know this?
Well, you used to be a guy who would like figure out the end, like in the middle of the season or before, and you would be like, I kind of knew the winners the whole time, Vince. You always break my heart at the end of the season, saying like, all those questions, it was all bullshit. I knew who was gonna win. I'm like, Dave, how could you?
That's because I would get spoiled. I would be trying to learn a little bit about the season and like see, okay, who's on this season, who are all the characters, and then all of a sudden you just read a spoiler. So I can't, and especially like if you follow people from the challenge on Twitter, you just start reading like their comments on it. Like Cara Maria would post something, and then I'd start reading through the comments to see what people say, and then people will just randomly blurt out unrelated spoilers to the season.
Yeah,
because if somebody insults Cara Maria, the comeback is like, well, she wins this season. Like, what? And then spoiler, then all of a sudden like, oh, okay, Cara Maria is gonna win Bloodlines, I guess. So then you just know.
Yeah, that happened to me once where I'm like on this show, I was like, Jordan and Sarah, you guys are doomed. And I was saying in terms of their emotional, like I don't think they're gonna come back from how they feel about each other. They're not going to even really be friends after this. They just hooked up once, forced to do this show, and they're going to win, but I don't think there's anything there anymore, right? Which is totally, I called it, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying, right? I was like, oh, they're so screwed. So then a commenter was like, oh, they're screwed, huh? They win. I was like, that's not what I meant by they were screwed. They were screwed emotionally together. And I was like, well, they could be lying and just saying like, yeah, well, they win. They're making it up. But they totally, the way they typed it, you could just tell. They're like, oh, yeah, is that right? Bam.
I saw something a couple weeks ago. And it was when they did the security breach, but it was when they did the security breach, this recent one where it was like a double elimination or two teams or something. I don't even remember what it was. Yeah. But I had read online that because that was like the cliffhanger of the one episode. And then I had seen something, it was a spoiler, and they're like, this security breach is Wes returning to the show. And I thought that's what it was going to be. And then I see the episode and it's not at all. So I was like, oh, good troll, sir. Good troll. I thought it was real. I'm like, you're really bringing back Wes? Part of me was all excited.
That possibility ran through my mind. So I probably would have been like, I knew it. As soon as I read that comment, I was like, oh, I'm so smart. I predicted everything, Okay, yeah, so
somebody predicted that. Well, it wasn't just Wes; it was supposed to be a team of Wes and Tori coming back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a team of Wes's. I was like, "Well, shit!"
Like you can't have people who are legitimately eliminated brought back. Like they did it with Ashley already, and it's like you can't do that. Eliminations have to count.
That Pandora's box. So apparently, there's been 6 non-eliminated outed players this season. Is this one of the most DQ cursed seasons of all time?
It seems like it.
Yeah.
We've had 6 people eliminated. There's been 13. We're on episode 13.
dude, oh my gosh, I just thought of something. What if someone, oh no, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, someone gets coronavirus, and then that's why they're like, you better leave and think of a cool way to leave. You know, that's why Lola was like, they told me to leave, and I just happened to make the team.
I was shocked when Nam went to the hospital, and then I was like, he's gone. I told my girlfriend he's gone from the show. I'm like, once he's in the hospital, he cannot enter that house because that breaks quarantine. I'm like, he's not allowed back in the house. And then you see him, they just put like the little surgical mask on him, and he's back in the house, and then all of a sudden he's hanging out with everybody. I'm like, whoa, quarantine. Because everyone who's working at a hospital comes in contact with COVID. So if Nam was around those people, like, he basically has to be treated as though he's infected. Even if he gets tested, he still could pick it up from an employee there and then bring it back to the house. So,
yeah. I know that
real security breach right there was Nam.
Oh yeah, but they cut all that. They're like, TJ, he went off. He's like, you could know goddamn well he's not supposed to come back in here and shit like that. But they cut it all, and they were like, just cut to the fact when he introduced double eliminations. It's fine. The one time that TJ is alive and a human being, we're gonna cut it. It's all too political, man. Who are you, Dominic Cruz, calling out Monster Guy? Monster Energy drink, dude.
I like how Nam said, he's like, they gave me an injection, this giant injection into my back, and I'm just like, of what, steroids? Like,
yeah, I was like, this is like some comfortably numb shit going on, man. All right, hey, let's start the episode. How about? All right, yeah. This is awesome that we got so much out of just the title, but this was watched by 0.93, making it the third highest episode ever of the season so far. There's some turns out there's huge Fessy fans, or Bond pun, like, isn't that all Bond is? Just puns anyways, right? Yeah.
I don't feel like there's any correlation between the ratings and anything. I don't know.
I know, but that's usually our cue to come up with a joke. You know, we could always say it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it up. But yeah, I offer you this, and you're like, doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Next.
Well, yeah, it was about like the BDSM torture chamber that every partner has to be in. That was a huge selling point for everyone, because they're like, what is worse than being chained to a Nisa for an entire night? They're like, how will Fessy deal with this torture?
Or maybe like images of people in cages seemed a little too familiar in this day and age. God damn, it's horrible. Okay, so we left off on the mission Survive the Night, and I'm just going to name, they're chained together, right? And I'm just going to name off the things that they have to do. You know, some of them are cool, I guess. I don't know. Flashing lights and loud noises, Dave. Does it break you mentally?
No.
I guess you would have to be there, right?
And they just seem to edit the super annoying sounds and lights for like 2 minutes going on, and it was just annoying the shit out of me. And I'm just like, I'm going to fast forward because, I don't know, they just keep showing all this shit like as if it was like a movie trailer or something. And it's like, bro, just get on with it. All right.
Well, that's kind of how I feel when they do the elimination activated things in the house. They do that green flashing thing. Yeah.
Then they cut to random people in their bunks, and they got to hop up. And they're like, oh no, I didn't expect it.
But yeah, every time that happens, I'm like, so it's not flashing green. So that's a post effect. And I don't even think that there's an alarm. Hopefully not. Like, that would really suck to be burp, burp. Like, that would really annoy me. Shouldn't it be like TJ drops some sunglasses off and you watch your, you know, like, oh, like back in the day. Remember they would get those phone calls and a clue? That's very spy-like. You have to decipher that shit. Bring that shit back, man.
Yeah, they'd have the little Nokia phone or the BlackBerry, and I'm like, oh, we got a message from TJ.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like,
and then the phone would explode.
You ready to work together? and dig down deep. And then you're like, dig down deep? I think we're going to have to dig in some sand, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the flashing lights and loud noises disappear, and then they have to hold onto a medicine ball together for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's not visually stimulating or anything really, you know? Yeah.
No.
Add
I mean,
something, Dave.
the only thing that is interesting about the medicine ball is like Fessy is like not he has his hands on like the side of the ball, and then Nisa's like, why am I holding the entire ball here? And Fessy's just putting his hands on it, not really helping. And then
I
other
forgot,
people,
yeah.
like some people are doing it properly where all four of them have their hands under on the underside of the ball. It was just kind of weird to see, or interesting to see how they would work together. Certain teams were doing well and certain teams didn't give a shit or did not do well.
Well, okay, so Fessy was trying to not win because he was like, I want to leave, right? Like he wants he knows that the next female elimination is going to be female. Yeah. Yeah. So he knows that someone's going to take him. He knows it, man. He's like, God damn it. I got girls on my left and bitches on my right, and they all want me for their partner. Like, Anissa, you know I'm fucking gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is him emotionally, like, stepping away. The way he's holding onto this ball is like, nah, I think we're done, Anissa. And Anissa's like, no, we can make it work. You know? Yeah, but they can't. All right. Oh, they got to eat now. Ram testicles, fermented snacks, and cheesy juice. Cheesy juice just sounds so gross to me.
But did
What
you
is
see
that?
it looked like Mountain Dew? It looked delicious.
Did it look like Mountain Dew Zero?
Kind of. Like it was like fluorescent green. It looked good.
Oh, cheese shouldn't look like that. That's gross, man. You know what I'm gonna say right away? Like so far, all this stuff is like, oh, okay, we've seen eating. We've never really heard the loud noises and flashing lights, but that was just annoying, you know. And just holding a medicine ball, what the fuck is that? I thought of we could skip all this shit, and it should have been almost like a investigate. No, not investigation, but what do you do when you have someone there and you have to make them confess to a murder? Interrogation. There you go. Thank you. What you do is you put everyone has a turn, and you know you and your partner have to get your story straight. You know, because then you have to do like a. You ever hear of two truths and a lie?
No.
Never heard of that game before?
Never.
So basically, I would say, I'm going to tell you, Dave, two truths. You know, like I was born blue. I have terrible ankles. And I'm proud of that last fact. Which one do you think is the lie?
You were not born blue.
I was born blue. I was trying, like I tried to breathe before I came out. I don't know if I don't think the umbilical cord wrapped around me because that's pretty bad when that does happen. But yeah, I was trying to breathe by the time they pulled me out. He's like, oh my God, he's blue. Do we spank the ass?
Oh my gosh. You think you have like a little bit of brain damage or
I know,
that?
I do. Well, anyways, the point is that this would ditch all this torture shit, which happens to spies, I suppose. But I like the idea of having to interrogate people, you know, because CT is a brilliant liar. You know, he's a great actor. He could totally sell you on shit, you know. So I would like the idea of just having that happen instead of all this meaningless garbage. What's next? You have to solve the equation. Yeah,
a similar thing that I would have done would be. Have you ever played that? It's a fairly new game. It's called Among Us, and it's like a mobile game that you can play. And what you do is you have an imposter, and then everyone else is just like a regular character. And you all look the same, basically. You can't tell who the imposter is, but one person has the ability to kill someone else. So when you're playing the game, you're like little aliens that are on a spaceship. Whoever the imposter is can kill someone. And then if you find a dead body, you can report it and you call a meeting and you're like, okay, who killed here? And it's kind of like a game of Clue where you have to try and decide, all right, I saw red. He was over on the left side of the map. He was acting a little suspicious. I think it could be him. And you, as a group, have to try and vote out whoever you think is the imposter. So, like for this game and the challenge, it would have been interesting to do something like that, where you could have had one team, one pair, be the imposter. Like if you've ever played Among Us, which you haven't, Vince, but like to any of the listeners, like this would be so much fun to watch and to do it with people on the challenge. I think it would have been great.
Among Us, that's not a board game. It's just a game that you just play with people, right?
Yeah, it's a video game.
Oh, okay. Well, this reminds me of a game that you play like at a party where people are just standing around and they're like, hey, man, let's do a little game or whatever. And it's called Mafia. And that's where you have to guess who's the mafia person. And then you have like a person who's the informant, one who's the cop. And you have to, you have to talk to each other and figure out who the mafia person is, because then after so many turns, then turns out this person died. So now that person's not mafia. Who is it? So
yeah,
exactly. Like the idea of espionage. Let's see it play out. When you said when you first said Among Us, I was like, oh, it's a board game. I'm like, you could have a board game on the challenge, but you would have to be on like this floating thing, and everyone's like, oh my god, and there's like it's raining and shit, but all the magnets, everything's magnetic. So like when you roll the dice, it's like clink clink clink, and it's like magnetic. So you're like, well, it's this. So you got to like move your piece while you're like shaking, and CT's like punching at your ribs and stuff, like get the fuck off and shit, like
the entire board is covered in KY jelly, so you're slipping and falling.
Yeah, exactly, man. I like it. Okay, so what's the next? Okay, solve the math equation. Now this bothered me. I don't know if it bothered you, but Cam just said, "Oh, Leroy, my fucking future husband, this is the answer to the math equation. Go ahead." If I was CT, I'd be like, "You better not fucking do that in the final." Holy shit.
Yeah.
Does Cam do you think Cam loves Leroy so much where she's like, oh my god, baby, you're so good, like, this is your last season ever, I told you that, Leroy? He's like, yeah, that's right, win this, and now you can, you'll have your Brad-like fairy tale ending, you finally got that win. That scared me when she did that, honestly.
I still think Cam would try and win it for herself before Leroy. Like,
ooh, all right.
I mean, I don't think it matters because I think Casey is so much better than Cam at literally everything.
All right.
Everything I've seen, Casey is so much better, and I think CT picking Cam as his partner it was idiotic, because it's like Casey is freaking good. Like, go for Casey. I can't imagine a scenario where Casey wouldn't be phenomenal in a final and win.
Well, I do agree. Like, that's how I see it. The two best females to run this final is going to be Casey and Cam. But it is interesting for you to say, like, Cam, she's the hype trade, she's Beyonce. Where Casey is like, who's the one that was in Freddy versus Jason? She's like, I can act as well.
I have no idea. I haven't seen Freddy versus Jason.
Really? Oh, so you didn't know that a member of Destiny's Child was in that movie?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Kelly Rowland. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, this episode really. We're really going off the tracks on this episode.
I know,
We're not
because this
even.
episode is kind of lame, so I think we knew going in we're just going to randomly talk about random things because this episode is boring.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so solve the math equation. Next was you smash bricks with a little, like a tiny hammer that was also attached to that same brick. So it's all just like these, like centimeters, sort of like ting, 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 ting.
Didn't we see that like episode 1 or 2 with like ice blocks and them having this little tiny hammer?
Yeah, that's right.
I
Yeah.
feel like we've seen this.
So that unlocks a key, and then you unlock where you have to. It's a blackboard, and you have to scratch it to reveal the code behind it. I remember they did this before in something. I don't remember, but the cast later said like it was fucked up. We got shit up our nails, like the stuff that it wasn't properly made or it would flake off and it would like just stab them and they would get splinters and yeah, shit up their nails. That's torture in some places, man. Like they stick shit up your fingernails.
Yeah, because they didn't give them any type of tools to scrape away at it. It was just like, all right, just scratch at it with your hands. So,
but eventually someone didn't they use tools though on it? They started using rocks on it. Remember that? Like, I mean, pieces of the broken brick. Yeah. Because originally they had to do it with their fingers, and yeah, they were just like it was awful. Which I guess it makes sense. Torture, espionage, this whole thing is supposed to be about torture and stuff like that. So yeah, no water boarding making the cut. Oddly enough.
Yeah, it's kind of been looked down upon ever since like 2004 or whatever.
Yeah, when it was peak waterboarding madness, right? Okay.
So basically, the entire time it was Leroy and Casey, and then Corey and Corey's partner.
Gabby? Fuck. Yeah, Gabby.
Yeah, like those were the only two teams that were in contention like the entire time.
Because Cam helped Leroy with the math problem. Yep. That kills me so much. Oh my God.
Cam gave away the answer to the math problem, and then nobody else really wanted to finish and eat the food. Like Fessy was just like faking eating food. He'd take like a bite and he'd spit it out. Like and like Corey, do you remember Corey? He kept throwing up, but he kept doing it for the camera where he would always have his head tilted back, so he would throw up. And it would like go everywhere and it would gurgle like a volcano and run down his face. It was like, Corey, I've never seen anyone throw up like that in my life. It seems like you're just doing it for the cameras. But at the same time, I appreciated it because it was cool to watch.
Wow. Did not see that at all like that. But that's great, man. That's, again, this is giving this episode the life that it needs, for fuck's sake.
Well,
okay.
Because anytime he had to throw up, he would always tilt his head back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up," and then he tilt his head back, and then he just spew out, and he's like, "No, tilt your head down and throw up."
Fuck. Okay, so the next thing, we have two more things. You have to dig into the ground to find nail files, so then you would file through the chain.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, don't we know what escape rooms are?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a standard escape room, and then it's like, okay, if you eat this, then you get a clue, and then if you solve the math problem, then you get a clue, and then, based on those clues, you'll have to dig something up in a certain area, then you get another clue. But instead, it was just like, okay, eat this. Now, hold this ball. Now, do this math problem. But there was no, like, escape room part. Like, it would have been better if the door had, like, 5 locks on it. And there are 5 keys hidden in the room. And then you slowly have to, like, try and find those keys in the room.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this was just very disappointing. We've already come up with plenty of ideas that could have. Like, could you imagine that? You know what? That's my dream job right now in my mind. Producer of the challenges. I'm sure there's many, but I would like to get into that writing room. That, what would you call that? The designing room or whatever.
Control. Yeah.
Yes, creative. Is that what it's called in wrestling? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to be in that room. Yeah, I would love to be in that fucking room. And I'm like, I'm throwing out shit. And we're coming up with these awesome designs together. That'd be so much fun. Because not for nothing, but I've happened to design my own DIY challenges and had to Hardcore Dave over here compete in a few of them. And I would say that, some ideas I copied from the challenge itself. Some I copied from Minute to Win It. But I did come with some of my own fresh ideas, Dave. Yeah, and you don't even have to agree that they were good. You just have to say he came up with a lot of different ideas over the seasons, right?
You did come up with a lot of different ideas. Yeah. And if we took your mind and you mixed it with MTV's pocketbooks and their cash, you really could make something great, because that's what we're missing out on. Vince, we need to send your resume out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be awesome? They're just like, hey, everybody, make your own challenge. Send us the videos, and whoever does the best, or no, we'll just buy ideas off of you like Jay Leno did. You would write jokes to Jay Leno on The Tonight Show, and if he liked it, you would get like $50, and you would use it in his monologue.
Really? That's awesome.
Could you imagine that? If they were just like, send us your shit and we'll put it in the challenge, you pieces of fucktard. You're like, oh my God, why do you got to make us feel so bad about loving the show? But yeah, I will design this and we will post it. Oh my gosh. Because we got to move on. But American Ninja Warrior, they always have a fan design a thing on the course. And every time you're like, fuck, man, that would be so amazing. Because they're just like, hey, this was designed by Vince Cloud. It's called the whatever, That'd be awesome.
If you could have a section of the final where you got to choose like what they had to do, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. And mine would be, it would be very, it wouldn't be expensive. If you give me just a little bit of money, look at the things that I came up with, not a big budget. I would say about like a lot of it eventually went to grand prizes and stuff where like, if you win, you get $200 of my money, meanwhile, I'm buying all the props and, I'm paying for the camera and shit like that. But if you gave me like fucking $1,000, I could come up with so much shit, so.
Yeah. As long as you used real Frisbees instead of paper plates glued together.
First of all, I thought that throwing real Frisbees would hurt. So I was like, well, how can I make the, so that was the original idea. It wasn't about like, oh God, I'm so cheap and, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't want to hurt people. That was the idea.
Dollar store Frisbee.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go on. Leroy and Casey win. Let's talk about the house. Fessy and Gabby make out some more and cuddle in quotes. Do you think they banged?
Oh yeah, it was 100% certain, but like they call it cuddling.
Well, that's.
It used to be way more like gratuitous in how they would present hookups on the show, because it would usually be like a night of drinking, and then you just like cut to this, bed, and you just like hear they would like say subtitles, groaning, moaning, or whatever, and then you just see them like humping under a sheet or something like that.
Yeah. One time it said condom breaks. Quiet hush.
And now it's just like they
Silent
just
terror.
crawl into bed, and then they're just like, oh, and they're just like, and then they cut away. You don't see anything.
I have a question for you. Okay, so this is another thing that why it's so awful to be on the challenge, because you're all in one room. You know, like you never have one room to yourself. So could you imagine that? I believe Kyle's in that same room. Has this ever happened to you, Dave, where people are having sex in the same room that you're in?
No.
No?
No.
Good.
Like I've heard people have sex in like an adjacent room, like where there's like a room over.
Right.
Our friend group has a famous story about you and someone, but I actually went home before that, so I missed out, thankfully.
No, you would not. Oh my! I cannot believe you just did that. That story is so lame. You know what? To get back at you, Dave. Yes, you have been in a room with someone having sex.
What?
It was years ago. It was an awful ex of mine. We got a hotel once. You were technically in the room, if that makes sense.
Oh, I think I heard that weird stuff going on. Yeah.
Well, you blacked it out. I'm like, that's something I don't
that.
need to remember. Moving on. Okay. All right. Okay, this is weird. The next morning, Corey is talking to Fessy, and he's like, what about Tori, man? What's going to happen there? And I'm thinking, like, who gives a shit? Like, Tori's been gone from the show for how many episodes now? Why bring her up at all? Is it because Corey made a prediction? He's like, you guys are going to go live in Mexico, and on social media, it's been revealed that him and Tori are seen on vacation together.
It was very strange because it was like out of nowhere, because we saw Fessy and Tori kind of flirt in the hot tub like once, and that was basically it, right?
Yeah, but I felt like I didn't feel like Tori ever flirted with him, to be real.
It was just like cut away to Fessy's like, Tori's a really cool chick, you know, she's hot.
Yeah.
And then like, so Fessy kind of had a crush on Tori, but like all of a sudden Corey's like, I don't know, man. And he's talking about like how, I don't know, it made it seem like something between Fessy and Tori. Like, I feel like they edited stuff out, and there was a lot more there than we were witness to.
And Corey was being like that friend of like, dude, are you sure you want to be doing this to Tori? You know, maybe they talked, and Tori's like, listen, when I get back, I'm dumping Jordan, and when you're done doing this, we'll go on vacation. You know what I mean? Maybe that's legit happened, and Fessy told Corey, and Corey's like, whoa. You know what I just realized, though? I guess Corey and Fessy are friends again.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow. It just kind of snuck up on me, yeah.
Corey's friends with everyone. Doesn't matter how many times you backstab him, he'll forgive you.
I wonder if Nelson's watching these scenes. He's like, what the fuck, man? I thought we were bros.
Yeah, because remember, Nelson sacrificed himself for Corey, and then Nelson's like, hey, Corey, you gotta do that for me now. And Corey's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna help you out. Okay. So it seems like basically, like, Tori, like, cheats on, what was that guy's name? Derek? Cheats on Derek and gets with Jordan. And then Tori's with Jordan, and she's like, I kind of want to get with Fessy. So I'm going to cheat on Jordan and get with Fessy. And then Fessy's like, all right, I'm going to be with Tori. And he's like, oh, but there's a natural thing I have to do here. I have to cheat on Tori and get with Gabby, so that way, then I'll get with Tori. Because that's what she likes.
Jeez. Yeah. That's, oh, man.
And it's weird because I love Tori. She's one of my favorite people on the challenge. But she doesn't have a great track record when it comes to being faithful.
Yeah, I mean, and I've brought this up before, but on a reunion of something, I think it was Dirty 30, everyone had like these special guests show up at the reunion and say something. And they brought 3 of her exes to show up and say, like, she's a cheater. She's cheated on all of us. That's her thing. That's what gets her off in the end. You know what I mean? I don't know. They didn't really say that, but they did, they basically made a good, what would you call that, class action lawsuit against that ass.
Yeah. It's like character witnesses. Who's trotting up in that one? It was like the finale of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Oh, man that stole your marble rye. Yeah, that's him right there.
That's awesome. Let's move on to deliberation. And really, I start to black out. I'm like, what even happened here? I think it was really obvious. It was going to be Nani or Gabby going in, right? Because they both want a skull. And the main thing was like, oh, but who's going to go after Fessy, And Anissa's sitting there like, I hope you guys don't, and I don't know. I don't really have too much written down at all, really, about that. Next scene?
Yeah. I mean, it's Anissa and Nani were talking, and Anissa's
that's the
like,
next scene.
I know you want Fessy, and Nani's like, I don't know, kind of like, non-committal about it. And I was like, Nani and Anissa have been like best friends, it feels like, forever. I don't know about best friends because they have fought a lot. However, they've definitely been very close on a lot of seasons. I don't think they ever talk outside of the show. However, they do confide in each other a lot on the show. And I feel like to any normal person, you would have counted this as a friendship, or at least an alliance of some sort, and you wouldn't go after their partner.
Yeah. But you would also, if you were an educated viewer, sounds so pompous of me already, if you knew better, No, I mean, right away, as soon as Anissa was like crying and saying like, I know you want him, this is so pathetic, because Fessy already left you, Anissa. And then when you won, you got him back. He didn't want to be with you. You know that. And you know that other people are coming for him, and you're crying, trying to buy some whatever with Nani. But Nani is basically your equal. She's the same person where they both say, I'm just doing my game right now. No, you should say, I'm always doing my game every season, every episode. They only think for themselves every single time. So Nani Anissa crying in front of Nani was one of the most like useless things I've ever seen. And also I think the scene should be soundtracked by Dolly Parton's Jolene. Do you know that song at all?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Are you aware of what the subject matter is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that.
Even though you can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Let's move on. Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'll wait. I have something to say, but I'll wait until the end.
Yeah?
After the elimination.
Okay, elimination. We skipped the chamber, but it's no surprise. It's Gabby and Corey, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember anything really. Like, did everyone vote for them or something? Like, there was a...
Basically, for the most part.
Yeah, it was whatever. Who cares? Okay, let's get into the elimination called Ring of Spies, and I'm calling these things Ring of Spies 2. I'm calling all these eliminations that we've had where they add a little extra to it now that they've repeated it. So I'm calling them the sequel to that. And I like this idea. This is better than free agents. This is better than duels where they would just repeat eliminations. But if you have to repeat them, I like this idea of adding just a little something extra to that. So yeah, it's awesome. Okay. I like it. But this is going to be best 2 of 3 And then you're going to have three, or wait, you're going to have, it's revealed that it's Gabby and Corey. And then, what's her name's going to go in? Who's going to go in? Oh, Nani.
Yeah, Leroy and Casey nominate Nani to go down there. Or Nani and Kyle, right? I think Kyle was her partner.
I think it's the Nani and Leroy friendship. I don't think Casey really cares who goes in there, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I also don't think she considers Nani an opponent in any way.
No, I don't think they view her as a threat.
Yeah, and I agree. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to round one. Gabby, I believe. Oh yeah, this is where you have to jump and grab the ring. Didn't they do this in the final that I never watched yet? Total Madness?
Yeah, I think Bananas versus Rogan.
Yeah. Where they weren't, but they couldn't wrestle in that, right?
Nope, they had to go straight for it. And see, that's what I thought they needed to do on this one. Well, Gabby gets the first one. She jumps up and she grabs it, and she ends up getting the point. And then I thought, like, in the second one, I'm like, don't even go for the ring. Just try and, like, spear and tackle your opponent down to the ground. Then run and try and grab it. Like, that's what I wanted to do. But I don't know. Maybe it's against the rules and you're not supposed to do that. Maybe you're supposed to go for the ring.
Yeah. You would totally pull a Goldberg or whatever.
Yeah, because when they were wrestling for the ring, TJ is shouting out, "You got to stand up! You got to stand up! Like you can't wrestle for it while you're on the ground." Like it didn't make any sense to me.
But Nani didn't stand up when he said that, and he only said it didn't he only say it like one time at the very beginning? And then he's like, "Well, clearly they're not listening to me."
Well, they did like a quick edit where all of a sudden they were standing again, so it was like they stopped him and they stood him up. But then it never happened again.
Okay, so should we get on to round two?
Yeah, Gabby gets the first point, and then basically the fact that Nani is taller and has longer arms really helps her. Like, that's what I thought when they were hanging it up, and I'm like, okay, Gabby is shorter and thicker, and Nani's got long, gangly arms. I'm like, this is going to be good for Nani. And it was.
Thick without the K in the modern parlance.
Yeah. 2 C's.
Okay. Actually gets on. Okay, so round two. Nani gets it, and is wrestled down. I like all this wrestling going on. I do like it. That was cool. It was cool to watch. But she gets out, she gets a score. So round three was kind of impressive because Nani gets it again because she's fucking taller. Let's not take it away from her. She earned it, right?
Yeah, she did. And she was a little bit faster. I thought Gabby would be faster, but she wasn't. Gabby did not have the explosive speed that I would have expected.
That's kind of true. Yeah, she did kind of slow down a little bit. But yeah, in this third round for sure, because that's when Nani was able to do the juked her. Yeah. I was like, shit.
It was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like that. And I haven't been a Nani fan since maybe Battle of the Seasons 2, because that was the first time I ever knew her, and I was like, I think I like you. I mean, you're definitely friends with Dustin, and I like him, but ever since then, I'm like, no, I'm not a Nani fan at all, you know. So, hey, she's like all emotional. She's won. She's possibly going into the final. I don't know.
I feel like there's going to be another elimination. I feel like.
Oh, there has to be. Yeah, because there's only 5 skulls and there's 6 women left now.
Yep. So, but ultimately, I was very happy because I was like, I'm more interested to see Nani in a final, just because there's a lot of these people who talk a big game and they can't really produce in a final. So I'm excited to see Nani in the final because I think she's really going to be a letdown.
I like that. You're taking me in one direction, and there's the punchline. I like it. Yeah, because I'm like, people say like, "Oh, remember what she did against it by 10 minutes?" I'm like, only by 10 minutes. Fuck off. I get really defensive and shit. Yeah. All right. All right. So Nani gets a gold skull. She's going to be in the final, or presumably, who knows? And she takes Fessy away from Anissa. How do you like this? Are you just like,
No, it's
Anissa?
idiotic. Darrell is a way better competitor in a final. I will take Darrell 7 days a week over Fessy. Fessy proved last year that he gassed out. Fessy lost to Kyle in the final last year.
Don't spoil the Total Madness final. I haven't seen it yet by choice, and I don't intend to watch it. Don't spoil it.
It's ridiculous to me that people think Fessy is going to be so amazing in a final. Now, like, because if it has anything to do with cardio, I want Darrell on my team for sure.
No, yeah, exactly. And Darrell, that, and then CT, and then I would say maybe Kyle, and then Fessy, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's things like there's math problems, puzzles, mind puzzles, and shit like that. Fessy, we really think he's going to be able to do he wasn't able to do the math problem here.
Yeah, but that was by choice. He was like, I need to, in the parlance of CT and the Gauntlet 3, trim the fat, as it were. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so Nani takes Fessy. Anissa then takes Kyle, and Kyle is like, I feel like I was on top of the world when I had Cam, and now he's like, I don't know. I don't like him, but I also feel bad for him right now. You know,
I think it'll be okay because I think there's going to be one more female elimination, and it could end up being. Is there a girl without a gold skull?
Big T.
Oh, Big T. So it could end up being like Big T versus Anissa, possibly. And then,
yeah.
I don't know. Would that even matter? Or even for the guys, like if there's another guys elimination, I feel like Kyle might have a chance to get another partner because if there is another guys elimination, Kyle is probably going to get voted in because he's a lone man in that what was remaining of that Devon alliance.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be Corey going in, right?
Yeah,
no matter what.
Probably be Corey and Kyle.
Yeah. I just thought of Big T. You know what it means? Big temporary, man, because flash in the pan. I don't know. I mentioned this on a previous podcast where I'm like, why do we cast tiny female casts anymore? Like, can you name the last time we had a tiny girl champion? I was going to say maybe Jillian. What?
Paula?
She's not tiny. She's pretty big. What?
Paula's tiny.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Just do what you normally do. Look up information and stuff, and we'll see. I really disagree on that. I don't think Paula's that short.
She's real. Like her arms are like tiny.
All right. That's fine.
I don't know how there's any debate on this.
Paula is the tiniest female champion we've had.
Well, has Evelyn ever won? I guess. I don't know.
Evelyn's not tiny either, though.
Evelyn's tiny. What's your definition of tiny? Are you going by height?
Yes.
No, it's tiny is by weight.
Well, that's where I don't know about that, man. I don't know. All right, that's fine. All right, let's what next? Well, okay, so and then Corey gets Big T, or like I said, Big Temporary.
Vince, the most recent challenger who was tiny, who won, was Ashley Mitchell. She's tiny.
What? What are you talking about? Tiny?
She weighs like 105 pounds. That's tiny.
But she's... okay, that's fine. You know what? That's fine.
What is your definition of tiny? I'm so confused.
Short, small, tiny, not tall and thin. I think tall and thin is different. Tall and thin means you can run. You're a runner, you know. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this thing all fell apart. We tried to bring you something beautiful. Actually, this was a pretty good episode. So, I just want to say, like, subscribe, comment. And we're gonna try and do another one of those quiz shows. Quiz shows.
Yes.
That was pretty fun. Yeah, I like that. I got some ideas. We're gonna try and do something other than missions and just find different ways to kind of give the casual viewer like, do I really know this show?
You're gonna put on your producer cap and you're gonna see what kind of cool ideas you can come up with.
Yeah. If they gave me an episode, they're like, okay, prove to us that you can write for the show. Write a trivia episode, and I'd be like, fuck you, I quit. I'm not gonna write things for TJ to laugh and be like, because that's all he does every episode. I see him squinting in laughter and sticking out his stupid tongue. Like, I hate it. I hate the trivia episodes, Dave, so much. Don't ask me to do this. I would rather design a food. Oh, dude. That sounds great. Okay. You know what's going to happen next episode? This is a little challenge. And this is a challenge, and people can leave it in the comments. We're going to have a little contest to design a mission. Food mission, trivia mission. I think that'd be kind of cool. Let's just come up with something, you know? That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And yeah, again, if listeners, if you guys have an idea, post it, comment it, and we'll address it in the next episode.
Okay, so we're both going to come up with an idea, and then we see which one's better?
That sounds way too aggressive, but yes. I want to make it seem like a science project, or you know what I mean, one of those fun little like, hey, this is mine. I don't really want to do a competitive sort of thing. We're just going to display it, and maybe one of us will get a blue ribbon. Who knows? That's
Wait, who's awarding these blue ribbons? You're just going to award them all to yourself, Vince. I know how you think.
But no, that sounds pretty sweet. I wish we could figure like what kind though. Like, do we want to do like a heights, or do we want to do? You know, there's so many different types of missions out there. Do you want to do like a blindfolded thing, food thing, trivia thing? You know, there's so many different options. Swimming thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Should we decide right now? Do we have it in us to come up with a category of mission?
I mean, sure, we can.
What's your favorite? What do you think is your best?
Well, my least favorite is trivia, so I want to make a trivia that would be good.
Yeah,
but we take that idea that's always bad, and we make it into something good.
Okay. All right, you're on.
Okay.
Trivia.
Well, that'll be the category. And you know what? The trivia, I mean, I think we're probably going to incorporate some heights over water.
Okay.
But there's going to be different elements to it. It's not just going to be answering questions. You're going to have to do other stuff.
Okay, so we meet up, and you're like, I present to you this mission, and I'm like, I present to you this final. Because I implemented trivia and everything and shit like that. All right, I like it. All right, we already said Alexa, blah, blah, blah. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
Lates.